You're listening to Junie the Apostate. Please stay tuned for a very important message. So, a bit of context here before my thoughts. Recently, a middle school health teacher is in the hot seats right now, teaching abstinence only with a side of religion and criticism for the LGBTQIA plus community and to all those who didn't share her religious views, essentially breaking the law, and was reported for it by none other than one of her students. And I have to say, it takes a lot of guts to do that, especially to an authority figure, like a teacher in this case. At that age, I barely said a word, and was so deep into Christianity that I thought that my band teacher was doing the right thing by having the class join in a prayer before practice started. And that kind of devotion continued with me throughout high school as well, that I thought it was okay for a young couple from church to decide to come in and teach abstinence only for at least a couple of days. And if I knew then what I know now, I probably would have done the same thing. Because in the US, there is a line between church and state for a reason. The founding fathers knew that they didn't want just one specific religion influencing the entire society. It's one thing to believe in something, but it's another to start pushing those ideologies to other people, especially children. At a public school setting. I mean, for crying out loud, that's what churches and private religious schools are for. If the parent wants the child to continue on with that path. And I'm sure this teacher thought that she was being a warrior for God in hopes that later on maybe she'd finally get those brownie points. And I think it's safe to say that this teacher knowingly crossed a line that she knew she shouldn't have. And based on the audio clip, it seems like it's not the first time either. Now, I'm sure there were some students like myself at that age who were okay with it. But we gotta remember that there is plenty of other students that don't believe in the same thing. And honestly, the person who stood up and reported this teacher did the right thing. And I see the situation as her being the voice for those who are possibly intimidated of doing the right thing. And just like I said in my Twitter, it's never easy to stand up not only for yourself, but for what's right for others as well. And I want to acknowledge that person. Her name is Kylie, the daughter of Owen from the Telltale Atheist channel, who I support and definitely would recommend to check out his channel. And you can support them both on Twitter. In fact, they can use a lot of support from the atheist community. To think that I was just mentioning in my last video about the apostate's refuge that was begun by Owen himself. Actually, the last few days has been quite rough on them. All from harassing to doxing and even threats coming from the same side that preached about love. That so-called unconditional love that a deity has. With certain conditions, of course, and all because one person was uncomfortable teaching sex ed in a health class and was more comfortable with the virgin purity. So Kylie, on behalf of the atheist community, I want to thank you for standing up for what's right. Standing up for people like me. And to those who give you a hard time, you did what was right, and don't doubt yourself. You have great support, and most importantly, you have your dad. And Owen, I know you'll go great lengths to protect your family. I know it's a lot tougher now because the world's pretty polarized right now. And we may just be fans, but we care about you. And this community will love you and will be there more than any other God we ever know. Please take care.